Self. Make self note. Note to self. Oh, note to self. Oh, there's myself. Well, might as well make a note to myself. Welcome. This is Miner's Madness and Forrest Fenn content. Hal, just kind of reviewing some stories from the thrill of the chase. Quickly, erratically, sporadically, and without doubt confusion to anybody who boardeth this train. Composition book. No wonder why they have you writing this, so you keep your thoughts down. So this is a method that I did mentally back in 2019 when I was introduced to the thrill of the chase. And then, I forgot my cough drops. I was late to the show because I was trying to get Kiwi out here. But now I'm taking that mental method in which I applied my logic and emotion to the thrill of the chase and what I got out of it. Now I'm putting it into this book here and then kind of showing it on a map and a poem, right over there, so that people can kind of see the direction in which I felt I was being guided or going or following or something like that. But anyway, I'd like to thank anybody and everybody who ever stops by for stopping by. I appreciate it. Right off the get, as you're waiting out in the lobby there in the train station, there's a link that's posted. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. You probably have already because there's not too many people who stop by this railroad, which is okay by me. The less people there is in this train ride, the less I have to worry about. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But then again, sharing is caring. Who doesn't like to share and who don't like to care, right? Right. So, that kind of brings out kind of something silly I did. Was I ended up, there's a saying, you have to spend money to make money, right? And in a sense, I spent a little bit more money, kind of in the hopes in the long run to make a little bit more money down the road. Advertisement. Forrest Fenn taught me advertisement too. So, interesting things about the thrill of the chase is the life lessons that somebody can teach you through their stories, and along that way with those life lessons that were taught, he's also left some locations of where he's been. And in order for me to try to have located a special spot to Forrest Fenn, seeing as how I'm not looking for, 2 and 2 kind of went hand in hand, but seeing as how one is neither here or there no more, but it's still nice to go on the adventure again. And see, got lost, but adventures. And so I was writing down in here in my composite book, and I got up to Gypsy Magic. Now I've been going through the thrill of the chase, and I've been doing it dullish. See, I wish I had a way. I could play some music, but it just doesn't sound right in here. Because it beats the dull tone, the monotone, the dull tone, that is, which is me. But I've been going through the thrill of the chase and trying to keep it simple, in a sense of just answering a few simple questions, kind of getting out of the beat around the bush on all the fluff that's added to this yummy sandwich that was Forrest Fenn, that we all took a nice healthy bite size of. And some of us liked the way it tasted. Some of us just got a bad taste in our mouth. But in either case, it was something we all bit into, right? And so I've been trying to track the years, the ages, and the locations in which, within the bounds of this here book, The Thrill of the Chase, And so I got on to, like I said, I was documenting up to the gypsies magic. Did I say gypsy's kiss earlier? Probably did, huh? I see a gypsy's kiss is on. Doing well. They're no longer gypsy's kiss garage prospecting. That's cool. Check them out. It's interesting. But so for anybody who happens to come along with me this evening, I hope you grab a drink, grab a snack, and grab a pillow for sure, because it's gonna go night time on this train ride. I'm gonna, like I've been the last 2 times, just gonna skim over a bunch of the fluff in the writing, and I'm just gonna read out the highlighted stuff that I highlighted that I felt was important to me along this journey, because this train ride is my train ride, my journey that I took, in a sense, and part of that, there's some mental thinking and all that. This here device, which is Corden, is my video diary to my life, in a sense, and it's like a window into this train ride that we're already on, that you guys already know. With this, the train never stops. It's always going. It only stops when I die. That's it. All right, hold on tight. If you know the rules and regulations, please abide by them. If not, that's quite okay. We don't mind lawbreakers. I mean, I've been accused of breaking some laws. I'm just saying. Nonetheless, again, thank you for coming along. I'm just going to review the book, chop over some of the stuff, and I'm just, in essence, the theory that I was throwing out there when I was looking is pinning the stories on a map, and whether or not I can line up myself with Forrest Fenn and with the poem and with information from other people, neural networking and process of elimination, in order to find myself in a location suitable within 200 feet that Forrest Fenn could have been, thus could have placed a chest, to reduce the amount of time that it would take to find a chest that was out in 4 states, narrowed down to 1 state, but a whole lot of ground to look through. So this is just my process of elimination. All aboard. So I'm not gonna transfer. I'm just gonna go in here and I'm just gonna read, and I'm gonna start pinning. That book over there. So I had left off with a gypsy something, gypsy magic, and let's see. And the whole purpose of this whole thing is, again, along the ride, is trying to keep it simple. Can I prove that I was close enough to a location that Forrest would have been? And I think this helps to narrow it down. So, I mean, in the Gypsy's Magic, we have the Caddy Railroad tracks, which is, I have no idea if it's still in the same Main Street areas, or what's this? That's a picture of Main Street. The Caddy Railroad tracks were about a half mile from our house, and that late at night I could hear the steam engines puff and the engineers blow their air horns, and then be like, all aboard, trains are rolling. So, I mean, that's Texas. If we're still in Texas, if he's in Temple, Texas, that's not our 4 states, but but sometimes I still hear it in my dreams. I mean, he'd walk through cemetery, he'd go out there, catch some gypsies when they'd come around, and even when he's late at night, he's sitting there and he can hear it, that visual or audio. That audio is kind of harder in the sense to create in the mind than the visual perspectives, I think. And it's just amazing that either or can trigger each other, So that was a short chapter. So no penning for that chapter. So that again, now I guess that one I should have been penning. Oh, that don't really give us a state, huh? That's right. But here's an interesting. We have page 45. This would be chapter 11. In Love with Yellowstone. Now, I mean, a person who's sitting there, who's on their deathbed, and they're writing a book, and one of the chapters that they put in their book, or one of the chapters in their life stories that they put, is in love with Yellowstone. I don't know. And we have here on the cross page over there, we got a West Yellowstone, so we know that this is good information. This is good news. Because we got West Yellowstone. Now we get to sit there. We get to take this son of a gun off of here. West Yellowstone. And so we got West Yellowstone that we could put Forrest Fenn in. So West Yellowstone. That's west of in Montana. Montana? West Yellowstone in Montana. We're going to throw this up there. Well, where is West Yellowstone? Throw me up where West Yellowstone is. Even though I've been there. I don't even have you guys on here. I can't even see chat. How interesting is that? Can't see chat, reviewing a book, and asking people. And I got maps right here, right? But I just want to make sure I get it either in Montana or Wyoming. But I would think it'd be, if it's West Yellowstone, it's on the west side of Yellowstone. But if it's on the eastern side of, you know what I mean? Getting lazy here. No, not really. Oh. What's happening here? So we're going to put West Yellowstone here. Because that's... He's sitting there saying, West Yellowstone. In love with Yellowstone. My dad had the summers off being in the school business. We take off for Yellowstone. I absolutely love that place. And along the rivers. So, I mean, I would put an F in both Yellowstone itself. Right chair. But we know West Yellowstone is right there across the... So, twice in one chapter, he's already given us 2 states in which this fella has been. So we got West Yellowstone and we got Yellowstone. So, I mean, that's 45 and 44. I mean, that's what he says right there. I absolutely love that place. And along the rivers, I could find the best agate rocks for making marbles. I was thinking about all of those things and even more. You may not be old enough to know that a war was going on then, and that everything was rationed. Tires, gas, and lots of other stuff. So we drove 35 miles an hour for 1,600 miles with no air conditioning or radio. Even so, my father always drove about 50 miles out of our way, down a little dirt road to a one-room schoolhouse in Wyoming, just to show me what was written over the door. He who teaches a child labors with God in his worship. He was so proud of that. So, let me go ahead and add West Yellowstone on there. That's in Montana. Well, we got quite a few little stickers up here. Oh, I didn't have room to write the chapter on there. But chapter 11. I got to write the chapters on there so that I... Oh, see, I already covered up that chapter right there. This is 11. that he's describing two locations, you know, beyond a doubt that he's sat there and he's been in. Oh, man. Chapter 11 right there. That's totally wrong. I'm going to look right when it comes off. You know what I mean? But hey, at least I understand. Ish. But I mean, there's also distances in there. So we have West Yellowstone and we have Wyoming. Or at least the state of Wyoming. So I should probably put one down by the Wyoming to cover that Wyoming one. Because we have the Yellowstone portion, which it would be up in Yellowstone. We have the West Yellowstone sticker, which is also in the Montana side. But there's also where that schoolhouse is. I don't know necessarily where that schoolhouse is, if it's inside of West Yellowstone or if it's in the state of Wyoming. So we'll probably put another one in there for the state of Wyoming. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, that would be 3 different locations than this fella's talking about. An F. But we're gonna put this one right by the state, right underneath the state, because it says Wyoming. You know what I mean? Which is in a whole different paragraph. It's different perspective, different reasons. So we're gonna throw this right here underneath the Wyoming. Bam. Oh yeah, we'll line them up. We'll line them up going across ways along this journey. If I could find that Chevy, I'd buy it back and keep it forever. All right, that's it for that's it. So, again, and this kind of, like, in a sense, this kind of makes sense to me. If you want to keep something short, simple, and to the point, when I kind of look at page 45, in love with Yellowstone, and then that's it, it makes me wonder, you know, why such a short chapter? Is it because you just want to share those few precious words to make it stand out? Or was it because he just wanted to make a mention and then just walk over it? You know what I mean? And I understand why My War for Me is a longer explained, like 8 or 9 or 10 pages long or something like that. Because it's encapsulating, for me, how to pull all the stories together, how to look at them in a sense and line them up for me. But nonetheless, digression. Also, like that earlier, I was sitting there saying, it's just me and you in here, so, which is okay. But I was sitting there saying, taking like, you know, you take a penny and you put it on a track and you can make something to sit there and cut something, you know. Finish it off, making a nice smooth edge, and now you got yourself something you can cut with, you know. So yeah, taking something dull and making it sharp. Since it's just me and you in here anyway, check this out. So, like I said, I went and did a thing, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know, yeah, them, you know, we'll just kind of go over it. And then I'll continue reading anyway. But I mean, so that video that's linked at the top, which nobody's really sharing or passing on, is, I don't know, I guess. So these are gold. They're the brass covered gold $1 American Sacagaweas and stuff. You know what I mean? I should pull this up so I can see us talking to myself. Just in case anybody chimes into myself talking. I'm lost. 1 second. It's late. People are sleeping. People are tuned down. It's okay. It's all right. I don't mind. It's just a diary of me rambling anyway. Reteaching myself how I got from point A to point B, my reasoning behind it back in 2019, and and now. But I mean, there we go. Now I can see chat. But so like they're brass, right? So when you describe them as gold $1, it's like they're not. That's almost like a misdescription on purpose from the federal mint, or the Federal Reserve, Federal Bank, whoever is controlling the federal notes, that people who used to trade in gold and silver and stuff ended up trading in for dollars and quarters and nickels. They started making coins such like don't roll off, such as like these in silver and gold. You know what I mean? When part of the Forrest Fenn throw the chase was that them $5 were gold $5. They were gold back then when they were minting the coinage. $20 or a $20 gold eagle or whatever was an ounce, and then half ounce or whatever for the $10, quarter ounce I think for the $5. So it may not seem like it, but that's what. And so they were minting coins in gold and silver, from ore to gold and silver, creating that currency. Then when they started getting smart and they started taking your gold and your silver, oh, we're gonna need it for the wars and stuff. So they did a whole ban on that and started confiscating everybody's gold. How did you like that one? But then they go around and then they're sitting saying, "Oh well, we got these gold $1 or whatever, like your pennies." I mean, what pre 1953 or something like that, or 1923 maybe. I don't know, pre something. I mean, copper pennies were copper. Now they're plated copper. The gold $1, they're not gold $1 anymore. They're gold. They're brass plated, brass plated, or brass punched coins, but they're gold colored. And so they've learned in the money industry, the currency industry, to disguise currency, so that the enticement of, oh, you're trading in for some gold coins, that's why you gotta check and make sure that they're not gold plated, or silver plated, blah 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 blah. But so there's in today's market, gold is what, I think almost $1,900, and today's market silver is $21, $22. So there's a price difference. So for poor people like me, not everybody's rich. You know what I mean? But I've been blessed, for lack of a better words. With every negative, there's a positive. Finding balance in life. Blah blah blah. I've been blessed. Point simple. So it got me thinking. It's like, I'm trying to entice people to come along for the ride, right? That's what Forrest Fenn did. He enticed people to come along for the ride. To come along and read his book, I'm going to entice you with a box of gold jewels. Well, I can't do that. I'm not Forrest Fenn. Now I can entice you with some gold-ish colored coins, which I have, and that's what that video pinned at the top. But along the ride, you know, I got a gold $5 coin from the Thrill of the Chase, which, that link, make a comment and share so that others can make a comment and share. Hopefully somebody will get this before I die. So then I was like, I gotta entice the story a little bit more. Who doesn't like enticement, right? So I got a purple bag for those, just to hold it together. So it's like I got the big bag which holds all my sentimental stuff. This came from, I want to say this came from Hawaii when for wife's graduation for getting her master's. This is from mining up in Idaho City, not mine, but my friend. A rock from something, a rock that looked like an arrowhead, another Hawaiian thing, times with my families, etc. Memorabilia, stuff that's important to me, important to me. It's not to say that money's not important. Money's very important, especially if you ask my wife. If any of you guys mention this to my wife, you probably won't ever see me again or my channel or anything like that because I'd probably be dead. Seriously, without a doubt. I'm just telling you right now. So, there's 14 random comment pickers that I'm doing in that video, and each one I'm giving away one of these coins. And there's a whole purpose, and so I was like, okay, well let's entice this a little bit more. So, let alone, I would have thought that this would have been enticement enough for people to kind of jump on the there's a hospital section of the train, so to speak. On every train, there needs to be or should be certain types of carts. You got the community section where everybody's yammering, chatting to each other, whatnot. You should have a medical section, both for physical and mental problems, because I was describing it with my wife. I was like, even though there's doctors out there, and then there's therapists out there, there's definitely not enough therapists out there for the amount of chronic, and I describe it this way, the amount of chronic mental health problems that are out there, that includes every individual, versus doctors who treat more acute symptoms that are like the physical stuff of our bodies. You get sick, you're throwing up, diarrhea, broken arm, broken neck, half your body's missing. Along all that stuff comes a lot of mental trauma too. So that's just life trauma, school trauma, home trauma, all these kind of traumas. I don't think there's enough mental health awareness out there that there's the light's not out there enough. You know what I mean? That it's shooed or pushed away or off to the side. Yeah, they talk about it, but it's like, do they really talk about it? Yeah, I see on the news that they're starting to bring it out, but do they really start to bring it out? One of the things about life and history that I've learned, and I don't know how I'm getting on my own personal story, blah, 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 versus the book. And I'll go back to dull reading, don't you worry. I will go back to dull reading and put you to sleep. But, shoot, I lost the train of thought right there. Oh, I was talking about, I lost it. I don't know, it was a good one too. That was a good thought. That was a good train of thought. Somebody, give me last few words. You can scroll back and see. But as you're scrolling back, I'm going to throw these out there. Enticement. Oh, mental health. Raising that awareness. It's, everybody has that. You tell me you don't have trauma or you don't have a mental health problem, I'll probably call you a liar to your face. That's just me. That's just the way. It's like telling a guy, asking a guy if he's ever masturbated and he says no. I'm going to call you a liar. You know what I mean? It's just, the human nature type things, you know. Hopefully you didn't do it that day, you know. But anyway, it's like, so how how do I help, you know, in a way, try to sell this idea of mine? And it's like I had to think of like Forrest Fenn, you know, you have to spend a little money to make a little money. And so I went out and I ended up, and I'm like, you know, so I felt bad about, you know, some of the trinkets. There's some where are the trinkets? Oh, they're still right here. There's like this trinket right here, which is, oh, you probably can't see that very well. That's okay. This is a silver ring, or at least I think it's a silver ring. I haven't had it checked out or anything. Oh, that's so bad. My apologies. If I get myself out of the picture, it might. There you go. So there's that, which is a trinket. So there's 3 trinkets left to give away along the giveaway towards the final giveaway, the Forrest Fenn coin. Right? There's another trinket that that's a 1935 1 penny that is out there. I mean, so there's 3 trinket drawings, and it's a first come first serve trinket. Look at that jewel. This is Chip, by the way. If you haven't met Chip, say hi, Chip. And if you don't understand why Chip's called Chip, you'll understand why Chip's called Chip. Let's see if we can't make it work. Here we go. Chip, can you say hi? Where are you? Chip. There you are. There you are. It's amazing when you move stones, the color. Alright, well, you can't really see it, but right here, this top corner, there's a chip. So, that's Chip for you. So, it's first come, first serve. You know, whoever makes whoever gets picked for the trinket comment picker, but, you know, they get to choose, you know, which one they go. And then the last 2, they get to fight over which one's ever last. And then the last one gets to fight over the last one. And it's like, okay, you know, is a brass gold $1 coin pique anybody interested? Does somebody really want your old? So I'm like, all right, well, we can step it up a little bit. So it's like I went out and I ended up, you know, I had bought some silver bars. So along with those trinkets, there'll be a silver bar that goes along with those trinkets. So whoever wins those comments, this one is for this one. Wait a minute. I got to recount this thought process. One of these is for 20,000 comments, and the other one is at 70,000 comments. That's what these ones are for. Oh, you probably can't see that. Let me get that in there for you. I'm sorry. How's that look? Is that better? That probably looks better. Yes? No? It don't matter. But they just got a cool design, you know what I mean? And I think that's how it was. Because the map is being given away at, well, that looks way better than me. At 20,000 comments? 25,000? 20,000 comments? The map signed by Shiloh. That map right there signed by Shiloh. Not that map. That's not the map signed by Shiloh. But the other map I have that's signed by Shiloh. I'm giving that away with this here. I think it's this one. Or the other one. I'll have to put them aside. Figure it out, one of these ones. It's just 1 ounce bars, 1 ounce bar. One looks better than the other. But also, I'm going to go back to the coin shop, you know, throughout the days or whenever. And so this one is part of the Forrest Fenn cache. But so I'm like, you know, but that's just not enough. It's just not enough. This is part of the Forrest Fenn coin cache, I guess, here. And it's a sailing ship. And there's a reason that this one's going with the Forrest Fenn, is that Forrest Fenn kind of taught me along the ride that life's a voyage, in a sense, and it's just a different perspective on how to look at things. And so um, it's just everybody's life is their own personal voyage, and there's going to be rough seas, and there's going to be calm seas, and then there's going to be empty seas, and just too much water, And in our life and in our journey, people are like sails. They will either, like, at point in times, they will either push you along in life with positive stuff, or they might drag you down with negative stuff, like a broken sail in the ocean. So, I mean, that's why that was going on with that. But again, you're asking probably why do I mention any of this? Well, it started out with only two people talking, but I'll get back to my dull reading in a minute, and the numbers will drop again, and that's okay. But just don't forget to comment on that video and share. Sharing is caring, because sharing is important. It's the only way this works, that people get these, and I decided that along with every 14 comment, also we'll be getting a silver bar too, so I have to make another run back down to the shop and get some more. But that's why I was saying about you have to spend a little bit money in order to make a little bit money, and in the long run people will see the process in which I utilize the knowledge that I gained from Forrest Fenn and other searchers and other YouTubers and other Facebook channels and other people in this world. I mean, they don't call it capitalism for nothing, but if you want some of this capitalism, by all means, don't forget to make a comment on that video and share it. Now, with all that being said, there's a bunch of hoo-ha here. Now I'm going to bore you guys to death. I'm going to get back to reading. But, I mean, I would hope, in a sense, will that be enticing enough for people to share an idea of just commenting on a video and passing it along for other people to comment on? I don't know. We'll find out. Does it matter? No, not really. You know why it don't matter? Because if nobody comments and nobody shares, then for at least a little bit while longer, I will be able to hold on to something that I've never thought I'd be able to hold on to. I never thought I'd be able to hold on to 7 ounces of bars of gold, of silver in my hand. Never. But it's a nice feeling. Share that feeling in a sense, but I like to say about that one. So don't forget to back to telling you, because now on page 47, again, cross page is Forrest Fenns. There's some pictures and stuff, but right there, highlighted, underlined, is let's see what's the words. Now I gotta find the sticky notes. That's buried under all this loot, all this booty, pirate booty, treasure, for other people to enjoy, so that in life they'll be able to grab a silver bar and hold on to it and be like, I was a part of this idea or a part of this path of somebody else's, because Forrest Fenn was a part of my path, and had it not been for somebody else and Forrest Fenn a part of their path, I wouldn't have been introduced. So I'm just taking that wave, and I'm at the height of my wave, and I'm trying to share and let people come ride that wave. Hence, that's why I'm trying to spruce up that little, hey, make a comment. Now you can win, a gold-ish dollar and a silver bar. You know what I mean? I mean, for what? Making a comment. That's it. That's all it takes. And if you're lucky enough, there's 2 portions of this where everybody's eligible. The comment picking for the Shiloh map, that sign, and that silver bar, and for the Forrest Fenn coin and that loot at the end of the drawings. But it's a long train ride, my friends. 114,000 unique individual comments by users, unique users, is a long road, I guess. I got until the rest of my days. I don't know how long that is. I'm just saying, I ain't got that long to live, but I got that long to live. But I don't have that long to live. I don't know. Cosmos got all kinds of things out there. But I mean, I'm not saying I don't have that long to live. I'm fine. I'm healthy as a horse. There's nothing wrong with me. Don't get me confused with trying to say that I'm dying tomorrow. I feel bad for people whose family members who've passed in short time, or those that, unfortunately, it sounds like may come up with. I mean, and that goes around the board to everybody, you know, because loss in life, that's something I don't think they teach much about growing up, is how to deal with the death portion. Like they shoo it aside and kind of brush it aside and kind of protect you from it, but it's a process of life that we all will have to go through or endure, you know. And I hope everybody the best in life and in health. So when I say, you know, you don't know when you're gonna die. Basically, you don't know. Anybody can kill. I can take my medications tonight, and because the type of medications I take, I mean, I could stop breathing. I mean, it's plain and simple. It could happen, but it's not likely that it's going to happen. I'm healthy as a horse, fit as a fiddle, with a broken back and all. Back, that's like a broken instrument. I mean, you can still play me like a tune, but it might not sound too good. Though I try to sing with Kiwi, though she likes to sing kind of well. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Those stick-it notes. I was just literally playing with them. Are they in here somewhere? Help. Oh, there they are. Right there. Now I can write F on here. Because, like I said, page 47, cross-section that says West Yellowstone. And this is chapter 12 there. So, again, I would have to put my one-room cabin in paradise with curtains on the windows, but no heat, no water, and no plumbing. The Paperboy, West Yellowstone. And this, we'll put chapter 12. So, I mean, right here, we have, one summer I found myself selling newspapers on the streets of West Yellowstone, Montana. The Montana Standards and the Bill and Gazette. That was many years. Canyon Street. There's Skaggs grocery store. Skaggs. It's almost like Scabs. Scabs grocery store. No, Skaggs. Scaggs. Skaggs. I'm sure it's a fine grocery store. Wonder if it's still there. So, he was working dishwashing job at the Totem Cafe. I mean, 3 places within West Yellowstone we're talking about right here. And right there was the best part of town on the main drag. It wasn't much of a drag, just about 5 blocks distance. Figured out the streets, the secret of thought. Over here. Garbage truck does when it backs up, and he just stood there for a while like he was trying to figure out the secret of thought. Yeah. So right here, the next chapter, the Totem Cafe Caper. West Yellowstone. Let's pin that one up on the map, yeah? Oh, there goes my pen. Drop. It fell. Give me 2 seconds. We're going to put this one, West Yellowstone. So, I mean, I hate to say this. No, I don't like... No, I'll say it anyway. But these will never peel off right. That's not going to stick right neither. I'm going ass backwards on that. Is so far... I mean... There's colors showing up on the board. Oh, board. See, they're showing up. So there's a pattern that's showing. That's all I'm saying. There's a pattern showing. And it's a location pattern, and that's the process in which I was trying to address this Forrest Fenn thing. Because I'm trying to find a place that I can put my shoes in where he's been. The only way I would know that, besides a poem that can describe 4 states or one, I need to get, I want to shrink it down, you know what I mean? The only way I can shrink it down is otherwise stories in a book that contain the poem. And I think you need one with the other, and I don't think he would have had one without the other, that it was a tool of necessity. Now, the vessel in which to let the poem and treasure travel through so that other things along with those could travel, which would be all this stuff right here. I mean, if you're looking for the chest and you're using just the poem, you might walk too far. But if you're looking for a spot that a person has been, what better way to find out where that person has been than to listen to their stories and what presumably at the time and being, a person had passed away. Forrest Fenn didn't exist. All I got's a TTOTC book, So far I'm trying not to bring the internet into it, but eventually it'll have to happen, because in order to understand the poem, I have to understand the words that are used in the poem. And if I can understand the meaning of the words and how somebody could have used them, then it would make more sense in the words in his stories, and maybe how one might be able to use them in line with the poem and a map, like here. So we move on to here, chapter 13, My Brother Being Skippy. We're in Temple. So in Temple, when he was 14, that would have put young sir at what? They're 2 years age difference. 2 years age difference. Thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you for stopping by on the train. Hopefully you didn't hurt yourself hopping on the train. And if you're saying, how did I hurt myself hopping on a train? Well, sooner or later you figure it out. That train's always moving. Hope you got something to drink. I'm getting thirsty right now because my mouth's awful dry. I wonder why. Somebody's been spending too much time up in the coal shack. If you don't know what the coal shack is, sooner or later you'll figure that one out too. There's one either at the forward and aft section of this train ride. 1413 North Main. So, chapter 13, My Brother Being Skippy. We got Temple, Texas. That's not within our 4 states that we're looking for, right? My Brother Being Skippy. Here we go. Page 53. My Brother Being Skippy. A teenager, he disappeared into Idaho for a couple of days. Then one morning he called and asked us to go out to Hebgen Lake because he was flying in and was going to land on the water. Never mind that he didn't graduate from flying school. Hebgen Lake was huge, but because it was 6,000 feet above sea level, no one ever landed on it. The problem was that the plane couldn't take off again because of altitude, and I don't think Skippy even cared. We sure had fun gassing the throttle and splashing around that poor lake trying to get airborne. One of the men fishing over near Watkins Creek was a pilot. He told us that if we couldn't get that machine in the air in 15 miles of water runway, we should just give up. So right there, oh, that's a short one. That's a short one-ish. Two page. But page 53, that has some volume. Why has it got volume? Well, you guys know why it's got volume. Tell me why it's got volume. Why is there volume in page 53 My brother being Skippy. Why? Because... Oh, what's this one? Chapter what? 13? Chapter 13. So we're going to stick this one. Again, we're going to pin this to the map because it's a location. Clearly, Forrest Fenn got us out to Hebgen Lake. So we know he's been around Hebgen Lake. Now, Hebgen Lake is a big area, but I tell you what, Hebgen Lake is a lot smaller than you think. Why? Because it's a lot smaller than 4 states, let alone 1 state. So I go with 1 lake. You know what I mean? And if he's talking about water, that if I gotta walk 200 feet gridding across the entire lake, I mean, that ain't a bad idea. I mean, that's a lot of exercise. I'll tell you that right now. And this fella be getting a lot of exercise. That's why I like going out metal detecting. Is because I consider it as self-regulated physical therapy. Oh God. So being able to go out and metal detect and walk around in nature and stuff like that, is you can regulate how far you can walk and what you're doing and stuff like that, and be able to control your in and out, so to speak. So that if you're doing all right. Moving along, chapter 14, the long ride home. So, if at any point you guys want to see any of that, if you want to see any of that shiny, just throw up. You want to see some shiny and what shiny you want to see, and I can throw it up there so you can look at it some more. If not, that's cool. I just keep reading and bore you to death. I don't like getting bored. This guy... No, I'm a boring person. Don't you worry about it. I'll bore you to death. Another F on the blue coming up. Let's see what we got. Guy grunts, gal scream. Oh, kid, a loud sound. That got his attention. Well, I'm sure that would, huh? Oh, chat amongst yourselves amongst the cart. Hopefully y'all are keeping it clean and positive in there. I haven't been checking it. I'm just reading. Hopefully I don't need to check it, because if I do, then somebody please let me know. Just highlight my name. If you got a question, or if something you want to throw in there, or that you want me to recognize, again, highlight my name. But other than that, let's move along on this boring ride. Oh, we have somewhere in Wyoming. So, we got Skippy, and that's just somewhere in Wyoming. So, the long ride home. Page 55, one fall. And I was noticing something about these stories, which is an interesting thing that I kind of liked. And I think that's probably why he got so many chapters in a sense. And that's why I'm going to try to shorten mine up, my story in a sense. Skippy got an old Model B Ford and announced that he was going to drive it home to Temple. The fact that he didn't have a driver's license didn't seem to be a consideration. It was just 1,600 miles across 5 states. That trip was really educational for us. We counted the antelope and ducks and chipmunks and the many unknown furry things. So I'm trying to assume this is one fall when it was time to go back to school. Skippy got an old Model B Ford and announced that he was going to drive it home to Temple. So again, I would assume that they're in, at least 1,600 miles away from Temple, Texas. I mean, I could pin 1,600 miles from Temple, Texas, find out how far away that is and whereabouts in Wyoming or Montana they may or may not be. But if he's mentioning again 1,600 miles across 5 states, he's mentioned before that they've traveled back and forth to Yellowstone through the summers, and even in those stories mentioned about 1,600 miles. I mean, I could put, but I mean, it says somewhere in Wyoming on this page next to it. But for now, I guess we'll sit there and I mean, we could come back to that one and whether or not put a pin on the map. But at least we have in Wyoming between Shoshone and Casper, we had some kind of slight misunderstanding. This is page 56. And I told him to just stop the dumb car and let me out. To my utter amazement, he did, and then drove away. It was a long, straight stretch of road with no cars or people around anywhere. It was so far away, I don't think they even had coyotes out here or out there. See, and when I try, in a sense, and I try to place myself in these spots that Forrest Fenn's talking about, so I can get a sense of maybe of what he was trying to feel or go through. Though I'll never know what Forrest Fenn was going through or felt, because I'm not Forrest Fenn. Obviously, I'm me. But by the way people describe stories, the intensity in which they use words or descriptions to tell a story amplifies or quiets one's storyline, purpose, or motive, maybe. I don't know. It's just something in a method in which I've seen in the way communication and stuff has gone. In the thrill of the chase, that's kind of the perspective I've seen along the way. But at least here we have, what is it, 14? Chapter 14. Wyoming, between Shoshone and Casper. I mean, that gives us two good locations to look in Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can put this in between Casper and Shoshone, but I haven't looked on the map where Casper and Shoshone is. So, I'm just going to put it underneath the Wyoming for now, because it is Wyoming. I mean, I could stand over there for like 2 seconds and look. We can find out if it's quick. But he goes on, I remember sitting down beside the road for about an hour to consider my lot in life and ponder if anything was left of my future. No cars passed and it was getting cold, so I started walking on the paved road in my socks. Later on it says after another hour or so, off in the far distance, I saw Skippy coming back for me. I didn't think he would, and neither of us said a word. I just crawled in, and we drove off. I loved him forever after that, and we never fought again. Sometimes it's good to just slam the door on a relationship and start over. And sometimes, that's what the whole meaning with the ship is, sailing, people being sails and anchors, and sometimes you just gotta cut it loose, start over, start it simple, get back, I don't know, something like that. Looking back now, after almost 65 years, I have fond memories of that road trip. And you would think that, he's, and here's the thing that I liked about this is, It's a trauma that he's sharing, and he's tying you in. He's trying to bring you in I think, in an emotional way to put you in his shoes, And I think that's what I get. I get an emotional connection with the story that he's trying to pull. But nonetheless, chapter 14. Oh, is there any more? Next page. Oh, yeah, chapter 14. We can put that underneath the Wyoming section of the map. I mean, we got two states kind of narrowed down so far of where Forrest Fenn, I didn't put down, I'll have to figure out what that one was. That other chapter on that other one. That's okay. We'll figure it out. That's why keeping track in this logbook. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to keep this simple. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Why does he keep saying you know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean. I don't even know what I mean. Next chapter, chapter 15. Somewhere in Montana. I mean, he's got pictures of him and me and Lightning. They up there on the horses and stuff. And it clearly says somewhere in Montana. Well, right there. That's a page. That page has information. That information is the word somewhere in Montana with pictures. So I'm going to assume somewhere in Montana is going to get a Montana sticker. Right? So we're going to throw a Montana sticker up there. Which is, I think it'll be answered right here though. And this is 15. So at age 16, a few years later when I was 16, I read a book titled Journal of a Trapper by Osborne Russell, who traveled along the Madison River in 1835, south side of West Yellowstone, where Hepburn Lake is now. So he goes on and describes what he's reading about this trapper. And then all of a sudden he's talking to his friend Donnie. Oh, we got another location, and I haven't looked this one up. Anyway, after telling my parents that my elbow needed some room, I mentioned to my friend Donnie Joe that I was going out to look for Lewis and Clark. And it says, so we rented up a couple of horses from a friend and started up Red Canyon. So, I wonder where Red Canyon is. Anybody else that's hanging out know where Red Canyon somewhere in Montana is? Oh, and we got a map of the Gallatin National Forest that would really come in handy later on. Red Canyon. Well, so somewhere in Montana there's Red Canyon. Probably in the Gallatin National Forest. Oh, it's not your spam. Whatever. Some spam. Knock door. Open. Red Canyon. Nobody? No help? Do I have to Google this? I don't want to Google Red Canyon. But we know it's in Montana, so we'll put this underneath the Montana sign. He's saying they got the... Let's see. Matter of fact, let's see. Gallatin National Forest, that would really come in handy. The first afternoon, we found ourselves way up on top of a beautiful mountain under a lapis lazuli sky. I bet that was beautiful. Well, the first night we couldn't get the dumb fire started. They burnt their map. Rode the mountains, the hills, the valleys, and the hollows, the dales, and the depressions. So I would assume that in Montana, there's the Gallatin National Forest. There's probably a Red Canyon. Oh man, now I got to do it. All right, Red Canyon. Are we interneting this? Because I don't want to. Okay, Montana. I mean, I can whip out. Good night. It's okay. Let's see if there's a Red Canyon. Would that be underneath the national park, I think? State park? I don't even have my glasses on. I can't see this. Red Canyon. Nope, no Red Canyon here. Mountain passes. Is there a Red Canyon? Gibbons Pass. Would it be a Red Canyon Pass? What do you think? Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you didn't get too bored or fall asleep too much. And if you want to see some of that shiny before you go, especially that Forrest Fenn coin that you're in for, just let me know. I'll throw it up there. You can look at it, gander. Physical features. Mountain. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm not gonna sit here and look at the. There's a lot that I could try to read. I ain't got no glasses on. Calls the locations, counties, and seats. Red Canyon. N's, S's, R's. Nope, I don't see no Red Canyon. Red Rock, Red Lodge. Well, those are cities. Well, we'll just put it in Montana for now. I gotta move along. Montana. None of them get pinned up over by Gallatin Forest because I think that's where they went in. Came into Gallatin Forest. So I applied some mountain man wisdom to the situation. Oh, did you want to see some shiny? Anybody? No? That's what y'all are entered into to get if you've made a comment on that video. Appreciate you sharing. Appreciate you stopping by. But I mean, there's definitely a half day till water. Here's another thing applied. They're by water. The water, another 16 miles by water. And I'm assuming all this is, we were 50 miles from where we started. And Donnie was in good spirits again and started talking coherently. A few days later with the luxury of hot chocolate. So, Gallatin National Forest is quite a big national forest. I don't know if it covers 50 miles or so. But that's a lot of terrain. Adventuring. I mean that's quite a distance. I mean, think about it. You're out there, and they were out there for like a week. I don't know. You know how long they were out there if I read the entire thing, but no, I didn't read. I'm not reading to read ish. I already read to read when I first opened this up. So we're gonna throw this one in the Gallatin National Forest. That's my consensus. In Montana. On the Montana side, Gallatin National Forest. So we'll put this sucker, right? The blue. Oh, where is that Gallatin National Forest? There's the Madison, blah, blah, blah. We'll put it up here. There's quite a bit up in this area. Atlanta. All kinds. It's definitely something. Yeah, especially if the horses or you were lost, definitely take you longer. You know what I mean? Definitely would take you longer. Okay, so now we're on to 16. 16. I gotta put up another. I gotta fill out another blue. Put an F on it. I'm flunking this one. I am flunking this one. We'll put an F on this. See, I told you people I'd bore you to death. Which is quite alright. I mean, this is just my perspective on how I got to where I was going, you know. And how I went from looking for somebody else's wealth that they left out there on trust and belief and somebody else's story, right? But at least, you know, in a way, it's nice to know that it wasn't for naught because I can hold a piece of that story, you know what I mean? Which will pass along to somebody else along the way, along the story road that we're on, this adventure that we're on. And sometimes the train ride gets boring, people gotta sleep, you know what I mean? People gotta talk to other people, etc., etc. Oh, I gotta mute, let me cough with this on mute, hold on. Muting. Now that's the button for unmuting. Oh, I almost had to mute it again so I can yell at the dog and say no barking. We don't bark in this yard. Chapter 16 of The Thrill of the Chase, book used or written by a man that hid a treasure. Sagebrush Flats on the cross section of the page. Skippy had an old car with no top. It had one big seat in the front, and that's all. One day when a buffalo wandered out of Yellowstone Park and started tearing up fences, Donnie Joe thought we should go out and round it up. So after loading Skippy's heavy boat anchor rope in the car, the three of us went looking for the buffalo. We found it about 7 miles west of town in a large sagebrush flat that had stands of pine trees everywhere. So we have a location 7 miles west of town. Now, it could be any town, but this is saying that this buffalo wandered out of Yellowstone Park, so more than likely it's 7 miles west of West Yellowstone of Yellowstone National Park. I could be wrong, and I most likely am, but for now we'll throw this one into Montana, right? Chapter 16. So even this pinning idea, it brings down to not just where the person has been, but also what happened and the rhymes, the reasons, and the emotions behind it too. Oh, they got a ride. Oh, they got a ride, all right. Must somebody say something in chat? They have a phone? Who has a phone? Old school. Who's old school? They do have the drive. We have JT. What happened? See, this is what happens when I don't pay attention to chat, and then I start like looking in the chat. I get digressed. So, like, there's pages I just totally like didn't skip over. I just didn't highlight because it just seemed like a lot of fluff. Because in the end, I'm trying to find what states or what towns or places inside of a state that Forrest Fenn has been, so that I can best line up words in a poem to maybe words and stories or words or locations on maps, so that I can get a good idea where he might have hid this treasure. So this one's going in chapter 16, Buffalo Cowboys into Montana, just outside of the park. Yeah, well, just go something like this. We'll put this one over here. Pachow. Pachow. Pachow, just like that. Do we have any more? 17? Did I do 17? 17? No, I did not do 17. So, that looks like where this marker needs to go into the book, the Thrill of the Chase, because that is, boring time is over, story time is done. Because, I haven't read more to go over locations. But I will eventually process those locations into this little book. So far, it's interesting to see that in the Thrill of the Chase, in the story that a man's telling, you can see it, ish, kinda, is that right there, starting to be a big blob on a map. And there's a couple little blobs right here that you may or may not see, but that's just stew. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 stories that put you in Montana. You got 2 that put you in West Yellowstone. You got 2 that put you in Wyoming. And then you got 3 or 4 that definitely put you within all 4 states. Especially if you go along with the poem, yeah? Oh. So, I'm going to squeak this door a little bit more. I want to sit here and write on here. Take a look at chat and tell everybody I appreciate them stopping by for sure. As I write an F on here. That, American pilots. Simple to understand money contract, fixed price, so the boss prices it according to duration and ability. Then the guys don't do anything but still hold their hands out. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in the chat, and that's okay. I don't mind. It's all good. I'm just reading along. But anyhow, so yeah, that's all I got so far. I gotta do some more reading. And then eventually I'll go back into the book, into the stories, and maybe we'll do some highlighting, circling some areas on maps and whatnots. But it's time consumer stuff. Just like I said, resharing my thoughts and my thought process on how I got to where I was searching. Thus while I advertise for my upcoming works that aren't even being worked on because I'm too busy dilly dallying in life. So I mean, yeah, who doesn't enjoy a good story, right? I mean, I've enjoyed quite a few people's stories, and uh, definitely enjoyed Forrest Fenns stories. And I've so far seen that he's made quite the connection right off the giddish go-ish kind of, or at least in the first half of the book, that he's shown quite a fondness for Yellowstone, West Yellowstone, and that Montana area. Um, does that speak for anything? As far as it being at 9 Mile Hole or not, I don't know. We'll find out. Does it speak that it could have been close to 9 Mile Hole? I don't know. We'll find out. Um, does it mean I was close to it? I don't know. We'll find out. But like they say, you miss by an inch, you miss by a mile. And sometimes if you don't know why you're looking for something in an area you're looking in, sometimes you can look in an area or a direction without fully, enveloping it or understanding. And I clearly did not. I totally missed by 100 yards. But I had a different vision, a different path or area, and a rhyme and reason for which I went from A to Z and went and put an X on the map, and boom, that's where I went. Um, we were talking about young generation and them thinking coming to work involves being on the phone all day, doing nothing, and still expecting pay at the end of the week. I feel bad for being so hard on times, but that turned out. I mean, yeah, that it is. It's in a sense and it's hard to sit there and say everyone, no one, you can say most people, blah blah blah, the political correctness and all this yada yada yada. But yeah, for sure, you could definitely tell that through the years, the work ethic that you've seen in people is like, especially when COVID hit and whatnots, totally went downhill. And the quality and stuff totally went. I mean, not all, some, not everybody. You know what I mean? But I mean, you could see it in places. The quality went down, and the reason why is, again, like you're saying, the younger generation, in a sense, feels like they're being um, molded into uh, less thinkers, less motivated, more pressured. The younger generation feel more pressure from the outside world than they ever should. They are kids, and they should be kids. The younger generation growing up, I mean, young teens should be able to be young teens. Get them young jobs in betweens. Grunt work is a grunt work. Everybody needs to do it. Everybody's been through it. Maybe not everybody. Again, the everybody, not everybody. But, I mean, I've done my share, I think. And I'm sure a lot of you've done your share. And the older generation. And so this kind of goes into this whole aspect. And if you look at the bigger scale of societies, you look at the bigger scale of continents, countries, you look how societies are being run and driven. There's a country I mean, whose military, I mean, almost looks flawless. I mean, when you see them march, it's insanely ridiculous. It's just insane. And by hundreds and hundreds. Now, I'm not saying that our military's gone down south. I mean, but if you think about it, the more you try to demilitarize a country from its own citizens, let alone from its military, that's just a recipe for disaster. Straight up. You got countries that are hardening their military and their defensive and offensive positions in a global scale. Countries that are sitting there literally killing each other for land, food, water. But in America, we got people literally killing people over words and stuff, along with other stuff. I mean, robberies and just, I mean, but you know what I mean? That in a sense, there's that false sense of security, kind of. And yeah, no, I don't know where that's going, but it's just saying that I can see it, you know. The generations have gotten more to complain about doing less, and but there is a great amount out there of the younger generation that are actually doing what they've been taught, because they've been taught how to do it. They've been raised how to do it. The product of environments is, I think, a very important thing in people's lives, or in the society life, Americans' society of life, or the world society of life. I mean, they're important things, yeah? No? I don't even know where I'm going. But I'm not dogging on the younger generation by saying that they're... And that's the thing, is the appearance of what a few bad apples can do to a good bunch of apples, you know what I mean? And that's why they try to get the mold or rotting out as soon as possible, because it's contagious and fast. You know, like produce and stuff. Especially if they're touching, which is weird, because it just jumps, you know. And it's just a process, you know. And it's not everybody's totally bad, not everybody's totally good. We're all human. I know that. And we're 50-50. It's what we choose to do with that 50-50 that makes us and defines us, yeah? But it's, what, 10:30? The wife's got my pillow and blanket right here on the chair, so I guess I'm sleeping in here tonight. Though there ain't that much heat, which is quite okay. But she don't know about this heap of stuff I got here. So keep that on the down low for anybody that's still hanging up. And so with that said, I'll show you some of this shiny as I put it away. Good luck on that comment picker video thing I'm doing. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for sharing that video. And I hope you kind of enjoy somewhat what I'm yapping about on one end of the spectrum or the other. If not, that's okay. I enjoy it. Again, this is a video diary to myself, but I appreciate people coming by and stopping in and giving their 2 cents, because they can take something dull, you know what I mean, and make it shiny. Even ideas, you know. Some of my ideas are dull and dumb and boring, but other people kind of help make it shiny, and I appreciate that. So, I'm going to say, keep calm and treasure on, and yeah, feel free to wander about the train as it doesn't come to a screeching halt, but this button's hitting closed here in a minute. But I'm going to put this stuff away, and you can gander at it as I put it away, yeah? I'm going to put this over here, kind of like this. Throw that right in front, just so you can see the corner of it. Right there. It won't do you any good. Nope, it's not doing me any good either. But, yeah, so... Gotta pick up these little things. Little trinkets. So I got a purple bag that I got the the brass $1 that are going out there to whoever makes a comment and is lucky enough to get picked in the random comment picker. But like I said, part of going with these is I decided to try to get at least a 1 ounce silver bar to go along with with each of the 14 winners. So they get a brass dollar with a 1 ounce silver bar. Right? Oh, wrong pile. And it's that spend some money to make some money idea. You know, Forrest Fenn had to do that. Everybody had to do it. You know, if you want an idea to stick, an idea to stick. Sometimes, you know, you have to make the show sell itself, in a sense, which isn't easy, or is it? Oh yeah, there's a lead shot right there. You like a double ringer. I haven't quite figured out like a time period of it yet, you know. But here's a closer look at it there. Like a double ringer there. It's hard to tell what caliber. Almost like a 30-06 size-ish. So, like a 30 something, 30 caliber maybe, I don't know. But that's that sucker. Nice little story behind that one. Not really. I can't even remember where I found it. Blink. That one goes in there. We'll throw this back in the bag. So the black bag, oh, those go in that one. Because that one's, these are personal ones from my wife. So also, throughout the process, I'm going to get some of those Spanish cobs. Where's the one for here? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Check this out. You ready? So, I'm going to try to get some more of these Spanish copper cobs. I'm going to try to get the ones that have dates on them. Oh, I dropped it. But there's... Let's see. Wait, so I'm going to try to get some more of these Spanish copper cobs, pirate cobs or whatever, that have, if hopefully they have dates on them, you know what I mean? But which way is the right way to read that? Oh, I can't tell. How's that look? Like 1623, I think. So I'm going to try to get the ones that have some dates on them, and hopefully I'll get 14 of dated ones, and it is what it is, and I'm going to try to throw one of those along with them too. So it's about history and finding history, the way currency changed throughout history. I mean, people are currency, believe it or not. People are currency. And so it's part of the selling pitch. That's part of that video comment that's at the top, you know. And I'm still waiting for the next comment picker to come along, which is 112. So the number that you see isn't the true number of comments that are on there. I mean, I've replied. I'm gonna let that. Anybody? Internal sneeze. I felt my lungs like totally like balloon up. Anybody? Oh, that don't even look good. Hold on, put that right there. Right there. No, that don't even look good at all. That don't even look good at all, mister. What are you doing? Boom. That don't look good. Now move that out of the way. Let it fall. But, yeah, so, I'm going to make it right for the first 3 comment people that have won already. You know, get their stuff mailed out to them. And then, yeah, that's what's coming down the pipeline, you know. Make a comment, enter in for a chance for some silver for free. And a chance at a Forrest Fenn coin for free. All you gotta do is just make a comment and get that video shared, and hopefully along the line You know, eventually it'll start getting some tail wind and pushing this vessel forward. The more waters that it can reach, I guess you could say, or the more people, the better off. Makes it go along faster and quicker. But yeah, we'll see. Video comment coming up. At the end of the month, I'll be doing a review to see who else has made comments, reading their comments, and sharing their thoughts out there. But I think last I checked, there was only like 89 comments that were made that are unique users. So we'll see. I know there's a lot more people out there that were looking for the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase gold, and I mean, what better way than to offer them another path to be able to have a chance at a piece of it via that comment. What's frozen? Am I frozen? Am I stuck? Am I not moving? Did my Wi-Fi drop? That's quite okay. So I'm going to throw these bad boys all up inside the copper cob, you know, keep it stored up. I'm thinking about also getting some of the coins too, along with, so it'd be a silver bar, I think, a pirate cob coin, the gold $1, and then one of these pieces or something like that, depending on the lesser value of a silver coinish. This one is for sure with the Forrest Fenn one, but yeah, there's some trinkets to still be had. Of course, that's a long, long way off before people even get into these. I mean, oh, that sounds heavy. I should put chip in last, not first. Dropping silver bars on a small gem probably ain't smart, huh? But yeah, I'll have to put these. I need to put this a Ziploc. I need to get some Ziploc bags. Get a small little container, label them, and then that way when I put them back in the safe, that it's all I gotta do is reach in the safe, grab out that next bag, have the number written on it for the comet picker drawing phase. You know what I mean? Keep it simple, secure, and safe. It's not much, but you never know. Hopefully, they don't draw the attention of anybody else who's crazier than me. Because if you don't know how crazy I am, well, good. But nonetheless, I mean, come on. I mean, people have looked up people, right? People got mug shots, don't they? Well, those are other stories for another time. But I mean, at the very least, I can say I wish you luck at least getting a gold $1 coin of U.S. currency, along with a 1 ounce silver bar. You know what I mean? I noticed that these ones, they had, they're kind of nicer than the other two, but I like the other two because they have designs. But as far as kind of the across the track 14, I think it's easier to do it this way. Easier to keep track, just, one in, one out, so to speak. So I still have to get a few more of these so that I have enough to cover all 14. But that's within the next few months, so I have quite an extended amount of time. Seeing as how I know that this comet picker thing ain't going that far at all right now, which gives me plenty of time to work on this mamma jamma of a ride. You know what I mean? Because along the ride, there's a little bit of shiny for you peoples. And it's just for leaving a comment, And it's an appreciation, in a sense. Now some will sit there and say, oh, you're just buying people. Yep, I sure am. Yeah, I mean, you gotta spend some money in order to make some money, right? If I want something that I'm going to try to put my heart and soul into so that I can get an idea and a point across, then I need to be able to sell the story in a sense. And just like Forrest with his gold box out there dangling in the wind in 4 states for y'all to come looking for, including me. Woohoo! But you don't have to travel for this one. And it's not a lot, it's a little. But a little is better than nothing, right? So, don't forget to, like I said, share that Banana Jamma video so that others can make a comment. Just post it on your Facebook and say, hey, take a gander at the video or not, but at least make a comment and share it. Let's get some of this giveaway going. But then again, don't do that, because then you're gonna make my life a little bit harder. That means I'm gonna have to start doing something. And I'm a person that highly enjoys not doing much, unless it's with friends and family. Then I try to enjoy it more. And of course, last but not least, like I said, this Banana Jamma on the 14th comment picker drawing of that said video. It's not much. It was a lot for me. It was a lot for me, but for an idea and a purpose that has a meaning and a purpose, this was nothing. You can't place value on a person's mental health, and that's the direction in which this train goes. So I hope you enjoyed the ride. I hope you come back, and if not, we'll see you down the road. And if not, we'll definitely see you down the road, because the train will keep on going, and so does the road of adventure. And with that, you guys enjoy the rest of your night and evening. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to pick up your stuff and your belongings, or at least stow them in the compartments where you probably have picked out assigned seats by now. I mean, who doesn't do that when they go to school? You go in and you pick out your seat, and it's like every time that's the seat I want. You know what I mean? I'm sure that people got their seats reserved. I'm thinking about installing some seats with a windshield guard up on the roof, so that kind of reduce some issues and make it a little bit more safe. We'll have seatbelts up there, but people don't have to wear them if they don't want them, but I suggest you do. And hard hats, well, hopefully nobody's throwing rocks at other people. At least not around here, because this is a glass house and it shatters very easily. So please don't be throwing stones around here, because we're not much for throwing stones. But we will defend ourselves in any way, means, shape, and possible. However, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, again, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, keep calm and treasure on. Good night. Obviously, the button didn't hit when I hit the X. Let's try this again. This is like running a train. I gotta hit some knobs and levers and stuff like that. Gotta finish putting stuff away. Let's finish putting this away in here. It's like every time, it's like I gotta get in there, get it out of the safe, put it back in the safe, out of the safe, in the safe. Which is okay. But it's not often that, be able to see the... I'm thinking about doing like a little short or something so I can, spruce up the intake to the video thing, the comment picker. And I think somebody made a suggestion, though. I may or may not do it, but depending, I have to run some scenarios, run some buttons and numbers, and I don't think it'd look too good at all. But it's not whether it looks good or not, because they're not paying attention to me, they're paying attention to what's on me. That would be the question. But then again, no. Nah, I don't need to do that. What I'm doing is just fine. We'll keep it that way. But I'm going to do something else, though. We'll figure something else. Just to kind of show the added stuff. So I'm thinking about, like, waiting until... Things I got to work out in my brain. Make things happen. That's the best part about dreaming. Is you can learn and manipulate it. Go back in and out. Same one, same situation. Keep fixing it until you can figure it out. Yeah. Especially like bad dreams, because you can go back in there and take control. Change it up. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you go back in, though, it don't happen that way. It's amazing. Speaking of which, I mean, I know I'm closing shop, but this is okay. I never leave until I hit the button anyway, right? Anybody know that? No? Yes? Is It's amazing our the way our body works, our perception, experiences, I guess is the right word. And I say this in a way that so when you're awake, your body, you smell, you taste, you see, you hear, etc. When you sleep, your body kind of, I guess, like shuts down in a sense, but not fully. I mean, your ears are nonstop working; they're constantly working, unless you're deaf or you got stuff in your ears, plugging them, earwax, whatever. I mean, all kinds of earbuds in there. You sleep with earmuffs on. It's actually like an alarm system. Your ears. But what I'm trying to say is, so we experience these things inside of our mind. Now, when you go from dreaming and your body starts to make noises, you start to, as they say, moan or groan in your sleep. It's interesting because your mind is perceiving something to be so real that your body, and it's not to say that it's not real. It's real. It's real. It's happening inside your mind. But your body is perceiving that mental thought as being so strong that it's causing your physical body to respond by making noises. And I thought it was interesting because the other night when that was happening, I was having a dream, and then I know the wife had tugged on or pushed on me or tugged on my shirt or something like that. And it was like, could you hear me? Because I thought I was moaning loud enough that she could hear me, and she could, and was able to tap me on the shoulder, pull me out. So yeah, just an interesting thing about dreaming, and going in and out and being able to change it sometimes. I tried to go back into it to try to figure out what the wisp was in the forest that was trying to pull me back down the dark street. But it's not to say that there wasn't a dark street. It just all of a sudden became dark. It was an interesting dream, but I was trying to like this wisp was pulling me into the forest, and I was like, I'm not going. And it was that no, that resistance that I was grunting out. And I woke my wife up, and she leaned over, tapped me on the shoulder, and said, "Wake up, you're dreaming." Like, "Oh my God, blah 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 blah." And I tried to tell her about it, and she's like, "I'm going to try to sleep." So, thank you for stopping by and listening to me yammer yammer. Hopefully, I didn't make you too much non-smarter. Hopefully, you didn't hurt your head falling asleep. And hopefully you're not starving to death or like really thirsty because I've just given your armor too long and you've been trying to go get something to drink. So with that, again, as usual, long bye is always a goodbye. Goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, comment, or whatever. Keep yourself notified. Who cares? It don't matter. Let's do this anyway. Adios, muchachos. Keep calm and treasure on.